a short introduction about WILPF Spain, which was founded in 2011. So it's quite a young section among WILPF sections. And their members have been active, however, since the 80s in the anti-nuclear feminist movement. So today, joining us from WILPF Spain, we have Carmen, who will tell us more about their work and what inspired them. Carmen has been the president of WILPF Spain since 2011, and she is also a member of WILPF Academic Network. She's the director of the CIP Foundation, a peace research institute based in Zaragoza. Her primary expertise lies in the research of the interconnection between gender, science, and culture of peace, as well as the history of women in science and the epistemological analysis of scientific work. In her spare time, she's also an avid Twitter user, so I really invite you to follow her online activism. Now, I would like to give the floor to Carmen, and who will tell us more about WILPF Spain, their history, and the past and current activities. Carmen, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Elena, and good day, WILPFers. On behalf of WILPF Spain, I will explain to you briefly how WILPF Spain works. The slides that I present below are just a few strokes of the volunteer effort of my colleagues in WILPF Spain, who are the real and voluntary actors of the achievements. Then let's begin. As Elena was saying, WILPF Spain was born in Madrid in June 2011 in a women's club called Between Two, Entre Dos, which is a metaphoric name. Next. And let me first of all to acknowledge Amparo Guerrero, a former vice president of WILPF, who pushed us to organize a national section. Thank you, Amparo. Next. We were accepted as section in the Congress of Costa Rica in 2011. Next. Who are we? We are this fantastic group. This is a photo in our annual meeting in 2017. And you can see the variety of women. And I would like to present everyone, but it's not possible. Next. Well, what moved us? The WILPF Spain sources of inspiration are, first, the history of WILPF. Two, the will to be part of a symbolic and practical network of women who want a better world. Three, the will to be supportive among us and towards women who suffer violence. And four, the will to influence the whole global politics. Next. Of course, the history of WILPF. We knew the history of WILPF, and that was the main enthusiasm for us is to belong to this tradition of feminist, pacifist women who has done so many proposals for transforming the international law, for transforming the way to confront the conflicts between countries, between groups. Next. So we entered WILPF with many, with the will to know more, and then in 2013 we hosted the international board, and then we could know women from many countries, 95 95 women came to Madrid, and this was a commencement very important for us. Next. In Madrid, we could even to join in a demonstration in 2000 in the main square in Madrid. I think that many of the attendees can remember that was a very important moment, because it was in the peak of the economical crisis, and Madrid and Spain and other parts of Europe were participating in this kind of demonstration. Next. Our organization is we work in working groups. The working groups are, we have a board who are responsible to take decisions, and also a coordination group for helping in the daily task, a communication group, and then a translation group, a history group, a 1325, and also individual activities. I have to say that all of our work are volunteer, so we don't have any paid job. We are trying to have some help paid, but we don't have funding, and then this is the work of women who are committed with the goals. We also have social media presence, because have the web page and also the Facebook page, and have 1,242 followers in Twitter, which is not very bad. Next. These are my colleagues in the board: Manuela, Laura, Ana, Maria, and Pilar. Next. What do we do? I can make a summary of our key pillars for action. One is to increase our membership. Two is to disseminate the history of WILPF in Spain. 3, to contribute to WILPF international projects. And 4, to project WILPF goals within our local, regional, and national politics. Next. I have to say that the 2 points, increase our membership and to disseminate the history of WILPF, is very close related, because we have increased our membership through this exhibition that I will present next. Our membership is made by friends, teachers, professors, lawyers, youth. And for this goal, we are translating to Spanish the main WILPF documents. We also encourage our members to participate in international meetings, because this is a source of inspiration. And I have to say that we don't ask many things to our members, because the degree of commitment is up to each member. Next. Well, this has been very important for WILPF Spain, is producing the 100 years history exhibition made by us, the group of history. Next. Well, this exhibition has been exhibited at different places, and has been the way through which many women have known the existence of the very existence of the organization, which was very bad known in Spain. It was not new. Has been exhibited overall at the universities of Zaragoza, Alicante, Valencia, Valladolid, Canary Island, also in the Parliament of Navarra, also in social centers in different cities in Spain. Today, these days, nowadays, is exhibiting in Madrid. We can see the next one small video of the exhibition in the University of La Laguna in Canarias. Exhibition is made 40 panels with the history of WILPF, and the next video is the presentation in Alicante at a university. You can see that the attendees are very interested in the history of our organization.
En la política internacional, que esto es una característica de WILPF, no es una organización humanitaria, no es una ONG en el sentido clásico, es un movimiento para incidir en los temas de política internacional.
Mujer que con el viento va, mujer de agua, mujer de tierra o de fuego, que más da mujeres y mujeres, mujer que canta su verdad, mujer que no calla, mujer que no tiene miedo a...
Yes, the question is to show that the attendees are different groups of people of age, and this is important because it's the way to increase our membership. This is the group of history. They have done a very important work. The group of history is made by a professor from history and literature and young researches. And this is in Zaragoza. Next. And I will me to introduce Concha Gaudó, who is the curator of the exhibition. She has made a wonderful work, and it's important that you know her. Next. Well, the other pillar of our work is the contribution that WILPF Spain has made to WILPF international projects. We have collaborated with the Human Rights Project, the Peace Women, the Reaching Critical Will. Also, some of us, Manuela Mesa, did participated within the ad hoc committee. We participate also in the academic network and other committees. Let's see, next. Also, we have attended international meetings. We have been present in The Hague, New York, Geneva, Roma, Brussels, Berlin. This is in Rome. Next. And of course, in the Hague International Conference. 34 women from WILPF Spain attended. I think we were one of the most numerous groups attending the conference. That was very important. Next. Well, our members have participated in, for instance, in the 15th anniversary of the 1325 in New York. Also in the meeting organized around the Arms Trade Treaty in New York, and also the review in Mexico was Maribel Hernandez who attended. And in the 1325 there is a group, but Maria Villellas, Manuela Mesa, Pamela Urrutia. Also we have participated in the Universal Periodic Review, close to the Human Rights Council in Geneva, presenting the report of Spain. Next. We did also the shadow report of the CEDAW 61 session of the organism, and these are the members who participated: Manuela Mesa, Maria Villellas, Pamela Urrutia, with Maria Muñoz, former staff member and also member of our section, who has been so supportive for us. Thank you, Maria. Next. And related with regard to the Arms Trade Treaty, Manuela Mesa and Maribel Hernandez participated, and with a small grant that we received, we were able to work in the Spanish arms trade and risk assessment, a report of what is the role of Spain in this trade of weapons in the world. This report was made by Maribel Hernandez, and it's an important contribution of our section. Next. This work also was presented in different panels, in different presentations in Spain, in Alicante, in Madrid and Zaragoza. Maribel with Mia Gandenberger, the former staff member working in reaching critical will. Next. Along the years we have been giving conferences, informative talks, debates, and also we have written and published books and articles. One of important of them is this one, 1325 Women Working for Peace, Defiendo la Paz. Well, and this was coordinated by Manuela Mesa and Laura Alonso and was presented in New York. We have made other activities, for instance, organized a dinner in Madrid to raise funds and to increase the members of the organizations. We have written letters to national authorities to reclaim, for instance, that they signed the Arms Trade Treaty. And we exchanged many emails with colleagues of other countries, for instance, overall with Germany and with Italy and with Colombian, because with Colombian we'll have a relationship very close due to our common language, and we have invited them to come to Madrid, and they have invited us, and so on. Next. Well, the last pillar is the projection of WILPF goals within our local, regional, and national politics. For instance, the working group of 1325 is participating in the National Action Plan works, very close to the administration. and they have made reports of evaluation of how was the first National Action Plan, and then now they are working in the second National Action Plan. We have also organized demonstrations and trying to have media presence, and we coordinate with feminist organizations in our cities. Next. This is some examples of presence in media panels and a debate in a very interesting place in León, Spain. Next. These are two examples of demonstration against gender-based violence, and also a demonstration in Zaragoza against terrorism. Also the demonstration in the 8th March with this, that was in 2015, the 100th anniversary of WILPF. Next. And we were nominated, well, WILPF International was nominated to the prize Builders of Peace, and the prize was given to WILPF by ICIP. ICIP is the International Catalan Center for Investigation for Peace in Barcelona. And this is the photo with Alicia Caravaca, who was the person in charge of receiving the prize. Next. And this is Adilia receiving the prize by the President of the Parliament of Catalonia. And this is the whole of Catalonia Parliament. Well, this is all. This is all. This has been a very short and quick presentation, but this I hope that you can find in our work a source of inspiration too. Thank you. Happy to be with you in this wonderful week.
Thank you a lot, Carmen. It's Elena again speaking from Geneva. Thank you for sharing your experience and the experience of the members from WILPF Spain. I would now like to turn to our audience and see if there's any questions. So there are many ways if you want to ask questions. One is by raising your hand, and we will unmute you and bring you into the conversation. And the other one, if you feel less comfortable in talking, you can write your question. So you just need to type it down in the question box, and we will take it from there. I can see one hand up from Rosan, and then another hand from Barbara. I'll take these two questions. Let me just unmute Rosan. Rosan, please come in.
Okay. Yes, hello. Well, thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. I see you are very active, and well, it's very nice to see that you got a Peace Prize already. And I have two questions. I see that Spain has a national action plan, already the second. I was wondering how that is your, what is your role? And how has the Spanish government organized this action plan, and how can you influence it? And the second question is about the arms treaty. I see you are going to New York to attend this meeting. Do you have some kind of information about that, what you are going to do there? That's it.
Do I respond now? No?
I can collect a few more questions if you, it's up to you.
No, I prefer respond one by one because if not, I forgot. The group of national, the group of 1325 did an evaluation of the work of the Spanish government, and the main difficulty, the main failure of Spain was that they had very good intentions, but they don't put any money. They don't put any budget for achieve the proposal, the points that they say. What is true is that that Spain was the president of the Security Council when was the 15th anniversary, and then with the UK they prepared another resolution. That was a moment for discussing Spain because we didn't have clear conscience of what they wanted. They added terrorism in the resolution. We are still discussing what does it mean to participate in this point. The way that WILPF Spain tried to influence is participating in a group of consulting that the administration have, joined by different organizations, but the two representatives who have the relationship with government is one is WILPF Spain with Manuela Mesa, and the other is an organization, so we have the representation. And also we have Maria Villegas, who participated in the focal points. Well, the Spain's government thought and organized a meeting in Alicante to continue working on the 1325, and we have a representative there, who is Maria Villegas. We are trying to do our best, but we fear that the intention is to push the 1325, but without the budget necessary for that. This is, and with regard to arms trade treaty, we work in this subject with the other centers specialized in monitoring the role of Spain in the trade of weapons. We are not specialized in the research of that, but we know who does. And our country is the 8th seller in the world, and they are decided to go on. And this for us is a point who are going to go on working on it, but with difficult to have a real influence, because it's money, it's business, and you know what does it mean.
Thank you, Carmen. Rosanne, in case you want to follow up to the answer, you can just raise your hand again. Meanwhile, I'll bring in Barbara from WILPF Australia, who has a question as well. Barbara, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Carmen. Really interesting national board meeting you then.
Sorry, I can't hear.
Time. I've got two questions. And the first, can you hear me now?
Better now, better.
Let's try, maybe the connection is slightly better. Maybe try to continue.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, better.
That doesn't. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Sorry, I also had two questions, and the first one is also about the National Action Plan on 1325. In Australia, we're having a bit of not sure just how much we as civil society should be involved in the development of our second National Action Plan, which is due in 2019. I wondered whether in Spain, whether you've just what your actual involvement is. Are you represented officially on any government committees, and do you feel any sort of not conflict of interest, but do you find it difficult to agree with things that the government might want to do or not do, as the case may be, in terms of how the National Action Plan, the next National Action Plan, is being developed? And my second question is more about domestic issues in Spain. You're actually facing reasonably serious conflict over Catalonia. So I wondered what WILPF will be doing in that regard. Are you going to be doing anything that will be trying to bring about peaceful resolutions to that conflict? Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. You ask if we have a participation in some official committee. I have to say that the government of Spain count on us for preparing the National Action Plan. We have attended two meetings with Secretary of State, and we count on us to prepare and to make the points in the plan. But because the government of Spain is the 1325 is like something that gives belleza, how to say that, that gives good propaganda for them. I mean, to push the women in the missions for peace and to take care of women in the peace and the conflict, armed conflicts, and so on. And this is important, but the question is that the deep politics about how to cut with the armed conflicts in the world is not harmonized. It's not harmonized. So it's important to participate in these official committees, but the last word is in their hands. And I have to say that the ministry who has taken most seriously the 1325 has been the Minister of Defense. I mean the army. The army has taken the 1325 very seriously, and we have done some courses to militaries. Me myself, I've been invited to explain the 1325 to the army in Madrid, because they see that in the missions they have to be prepared how to work on that. This is important, but we don't want that only the army take seriously the 1325. We want that all the ministries, that all the administration put the best to take seriously the 1325. And Catalonia. I will ask to Elena to put some slides. Catalonia conflict is one of the worst that we experienced in our present and the last 40 years, because it's a very, very grave conflict. this is not a new conflict. It has been cooked, the last years. But the last months has been very dramatic. Even now could be one important day to the final breakdown between Catalonia and Spain. I don't know. What WILPF Spain did, we in September 2017, we brought a letter to the President of the Spanish government and to the President of Catalan government, asking them to make politics, to join forces and talk, because one of the characteristics of this conflict is that the two governments have been separated without dialogue, and things has been worse and worse and worse. And the dialogue has been cut, and we asking for dialogue. I will put in the next slide, please. Some terms of the conflict. The Catalan government is committed to Catalan independence from Spain, and the Spanish government to prevent the independence. So Catalan people wanted to vote in a referendum, and then the government of Spain denied the right to vote, the right to make the referendum. But in spite of the prohibition, the referendum was made on October the 1st, and 2,200,000 people voted, was the 30% turnout, and the 19% voted yes. But look at that, this is the half of the population. So one of the problems is that the government sent the police, and was the repression which we haven't seen since the dictatorship, and was a very dramatic day for all of us, not only Catalans, but all of us in Spain that watched how the police was employed violence against the Catalan people, who were an example extraordinary of non-violent action all the day. Next. These are some figures. I have to say that these slides, I have asked one colleague, Christian Herbolfheimer, the conciliation resources, and he has been very helpful. You can see that the number of people who are for independencies has increasing between 2006 and 2013, from the 15% to 48%. And this has been for the failure of talking, the failure of taking the conflict on the table and trying to resolve, no? This is the half of the population, but the 70% of Catalans, what they want is the right to decide the political future. And this is one of the points that we support too, to have a referendum for deciding what will be the future, a referendum like in Scotland or Canada. Next. The conflict dimension is between Catalan and Spanish, but also intra-Catalan, because the society is divided in two. And it's half fears, the other half imposing their perspective. It's also intra-Spanish, a clash between policies of centralization versus decentralization. And international also is not only a question of Spain, because the evolution of this conflict will inform other contexts. This is an additional problem for the EU. Next. And so opportunities for the escalation, for us, the most important would be dialogue, but that requires willingness from both sides to settle for something beyond their stated goals, because the government in Madrid, they say they are outside of law, and then we cannot dialogue with Catalans. And the Catalans said, the government Catalan, we are supporting our people who want independence, and we are going on the idea. And it would be important that different outsiders could play a key role in providing critical advice to the camp that trust them. But nowadays we don't know anyone who are willing to mediate, because this problem of Europe itself. Different partial insiders, national with sympathy for one camp, but the capacity of seeing beyond their immediate interest, can play a key role in creating a space for dialogue. But nowadays, the position today is to apply one article in the Constitution is to suppress the autonomy of Catalonia, and to substitute the government, and to send more policemen and more repression. This is what we have today. We ask for the EU to take a creative, proactive role, but today the only thing they did is to support the central government. Well, this is what I can say.
Thank you, Carmen, for all the inputs. There's one last question before we wrap up. It's a question from Anna. Oh, two questions now coming up. It's a question from Anna, who I believe is based in Spain, and she's asking, how can I start helping?
How, sorry?
How can she start helping? How can she become more proactive?
Helping in what?
I believe in your work and your activities, like engaging more like actively in your initiative.
Yeah, she can become a member, and then to choose to participate in one of the working groups. We have also, she can also participate in the next meeting we are going to have in Malaga. In Malaga, there are some young professors at the university who are interested in becoming member, and we are organizing a meeting in November 24, 25, and 26 for explaining the work of WILPF and to create a branch there. So she can join us.
Thank you. And in case, Anna, you can also follow up with Carmen directly by email later on if you have any other questions. I have one last question from Guy from WILPF Cameroon. Guy, I'm unmuting you so you can ask your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Elena, for giving me the floor. The question I had was perfectly answered when Carmen was explaining what they are doing regarding Barcelona issues. So now I just wish to congratulate them for the impressionant work they are doing there in Spain to build peace over there. Thank you very much.
Thank you for you. It's important for us to receive this feedback from you, because for us it's important to be part of this network in the world. And it's important also that you try to help us in this Catalonia conflict, pushing to the European governments to mediate, and because now the time is running out and there is no mediation on the horizon, and the Spanish government has decided to abolish the Statute of Autonomy and the institutions of Catalans, and this is not good news. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Elena. Thank you, all of attendees. And
thank you, Carmen.
We invite you to visit us in whatever cities where we are.